This segment sponsored by the Indiana Soybean and Corn Farmers. We are continuing our Growing for the Future series here at the Pup Farm located in Warren, Indiana. Boy, what a journey this has been. We have seen it from the seed being planted to the growth and now the big harvest. And joining me right now is Brian Warpup, who is a director at the Indiana Soybean Alliance. Hi, Brian.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going well.
Man, this place looks different.
It does. It does.
So much has changed. It's been so amazing seeing your process month by month and really seeing how the crop has grown and sprouted, and now it's changed colors a bit.
It's changed colors. We're almost to the end. It's been 5 months since we planted it, and of course we went through the entire summer and the whole process of its growth. And here we are at the end, at fall and harvest, and we're ready to start harvesting.
We made it. We made it to harvest. Okay, so of course the colors start to change.
Yep.
We are getting into fall.
Yep.
You know, fall just kicked off, and so that really does make a difference in the coloring of the leaves.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that. Why do the leaves change colors?
Yeah, and it's just like the fall leaves that are in your neighborhoods or in a park. It's that time of the year. It's fall. It starts decomposing and kind of shutting down for the winter, for the cold part. And the corn is an annual crop, and it starts maturing or dying, or get that dying look to it. And when it does that, that means it's at full maturity and that we can harvest that crop.
Okay, so the color is an indication that it's ready.
Yep.
It is ready to actually harvest. So what is that process like when you harvest?
Yeah, so we wait for it to get to that full maturity, and then when we feel that it's time, we take it what's called a combine, and we harvest it with the combine. And that's kind of what we do the whole month of starting in September, all of October, and probably until a little bit of November.
Really?
Yeah.
So why does it take that long?
Because there's so many acres, everything may be ready at the same time, but we can't physically or mechanically get it all done in a week. So it takes several weeks to gather that all in.
Okay, so depending on the size of your land, you're just kind of tackling one area at a time.
Yes.
Okay, great. And so let's look a little bit closer at the actual crop, because I see that the colors change. You say that once it's on this stalk, it's ready to go. So does it fall off, or does the machine grab it?
So the machine actually picks it. Okay. So it picks it, and when it picks it, it shells it. Yeah, it doesn't harvest it at the machine. There's a whole process that we'll see here in a minute for all that to happen.
Okay, wonderful. And then talk to me about what happens after the machine actually scrapes it, gets it, puts it in its holding spot, I don't know, and then what happens?
Yeah, so
Brian?
we harvest it, we shell it, and the combine separates it from the stalks or the cobs, from the kernels, and it puts it in its own separate bin. Okay. And so when that bin on that combine gets full, then we haul it away in a wagon, a cart, or eventually a semi to its final destination.
Wow, and in your experience, Brian, of farming for so long and being able to manage this 4th generation farm, what is your favorite step in this process? Like, which one?
Today.
Really?
This time of the year is my favorite, yeah, because we've worked for 5 months to try to raise this crop, and Mother Nature, we're very dependent on Mother Nature, and she's treated us very well this year. Yeah. So at the end, it's basically what you've done all year long. If you see the result instantly right there. So yeah, this is the best time of the year for me.
Yes, the fruits of your labor.
But also the busiest.
Or the corn of your labor.
But also the busiest time of the year.
Yes, so much so. Okay, so let's take a look back at that combine and see how it works.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. So Brian, I see here that there's pieces of cob just kind of sporadically placed. This is the leftover?
Yeah, so when the combine goes through the field and it processes the ear of corn, it takes in the leaves, the stalk, the cob. And we don't want that in our clean grain hopper. So it processes it and spits it out the back and distributes it through the field again.
Really? So what happens? Does it just kind of like soak into the soil?
Well, it's organic. So it came from the soil, so it decomposes. Like a compost pile. It kind of composts itself into the soil, and it becomes the soil again.
Becomes the soil again. That's awesome. So Brian, the combine actually takes the corn and does what to it? Can you kind of give me a
Yeah,
demonstration?
so I can do it by hand. The combine will do this very quickly.
Okay.
It picks the ear and will shuck it very fast. And that's what the corn looks like.
Okay.
And after it picks it, it goes through the combine and actually processes the corn.
Yeah.
So there's a cob and it will shell it.
Oh.
But it's doing it very quickly. So
Right.
it'll take it. But you have cob, you have leaves, you have stalk that kind of gets mixed in with that.
Yes.
So at that threshing, which is what we just did, it separates the vegetation from the actual crop. And then it spits it out of the back of the combine.
You know, it's pretty incredible because I'm assuming back in the day, all of this had to be done
Done by
manually.
hand. It was done by
Wow.
hand. Yeah.
And that is not, he made it look easy, but it actually hurts a little bit.
Yeah.
Wow. So incredible. Technology has come a long way.
Yep. It has.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful.
Well, Brian, we have seen so many different types of trucks and tractors and whatnot, but the combine, that is new for us. So can you explain what this machine is?
It's a different piece of equipment. It's not a tractor, it's not a sprayer. The only thing that this combine does is harvest our crop. And so at the front of this, we see this snouty looking thing.
Yeah.
And that is a corn head. Yeah, yeah, it has snouts on it. And it's a corn head, so it harvests only corn. We can detach that and put a different front on for a different crop. So because it's a little different process. But the combine itself, it runs through all of our acres, harvesting everything that we have.
And then I see a truck that's behind it. So what does this truck do?
Yeah, so this is actually the tractor that we planted with, and we put a grain cart behind it.
Oh.
And it's a holding spot for our corn, our already harvested corn. So that gives me time to continue harvesting and not stopping all the time. So we're a little more efficient when we have that. And it takes it to the semi and dumps it into the semi.
Okay, into that semi, the white truck?
Yep, the white truck, yep.
Okay, so question.
Sure.
Because I'm trying to just follow the process a bit.
Sure.
So this goes through the field.
Yep, this goes through the field.
It
So
snatches.
there'll be a row of corn that goes in between.
Okay,
here.
in between.
And this right here will roll and snap the stalk and take it down.
Okay.
And so it will, here's an ear of corn. It'll
Yeah.
pick the corn, and this corn will go up, hit that auger, it'll go in the auger, and then actually go through the middle of the machine.
Okay, go through the middle of the machine.
Yep.
And then does it do anything in the machine?
Oh, it does a lot in there.
Is
yeah.
this where the chucking
Yeah,
happens?
it does, but yeah, you can't visually see it from
Yeah.
where we're at. But yeah, there's a spot in there that thrashes it. So it just
Thrashes it,
basically blows it up so it comes into little pieces. And then as it keeps on going, it separates it
Okay.
into the kernels, and
Yes.
it goes up to the bin.
Okay.
And everything else, we call it the chaff or the leaves, goes out the back and spreads out over the field. And that's
Okay,
what
like
it looks like
this.
after we're done.
Okay, and so it just kind of holds there at this moment. The corn holds until you're ready
to dump it. Yep.
And then that's where this comes in.
That's
You're following along
Beside me.
beside
He'll be beside
you.
me. Yep.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So as you are going, when this fills up, you have to unload it there to continue the process because
That's
that has
correct.
more holding room.
That is correct, yes.
All right, yes.
And this is called a combine because we combined all three things, the shelling, the separation, and the thrashing all together. We used to have to, 100 years ago, we had to do that separately, and it would take many people, manpower, horses, mules, whatever, to do all that.
Right.
And where this just does it one time.
And how long has technology like this really been around?
Technology like this has been around since the 1960s, so probably 50, 60, 70 years.
Okay.
But not quite like this.
Yeah.
But this is as modern as it gets.
And then just thinking towards the future as we're growing for the future, what do you think about the evolution of technology? What do you expect to happen in the future?
Well, what I expect is kind of what has happened in the last 50, 60 years. We use less and less people or manpower to do our thing. So I think there's going to continue to be more automation, less manless vehicles.
Okay.
So more autonomous.
Yeah.
That I don't have to have somebody there. So I think that's just how history is done.
Right.
We've done more with less people.
Yes.
And I think that's where we're going.
All right, awesome. Well, we're gonna hop in this combine and give it a ride.
All right.
All right.
Let's have fun.
I'm excited. Woohoo. Let's do it. right, Brian, that was a days of work.
Yeah.
That was very exciting, being able to drive this combine. Like, yeah, it's kind of fun. We were talking about it, like it's relaxing.
I do a lot of thinking in there. There's plenty of time to think, but there's a lot going on at the same time.
Right.
But yeah, it's doing that for 8 or 10 hours a day. It's my happy place.
Yes, put on some music and just really enjoy it. It just really shows a different side of this whole farming career. And we appreciate you giving us a deeper look and kind of breaking down.
Happy to.
Yes, each of the steps and processes. Okay, so now that we've done that, we've put it on the
grain cart.
The grain cart, and now that's going to go into that grain bin that we were at last time.
That is correct. Yes. Yep.
All right, and then that is it.
That's it.
Awesome. Well, as always, it's been a pleasure being out here with you, and the weather did us nicely today. And so if you want to continue to follow our Growing for the Future series, catch up on previous segments, you can go to wane.com. We'll have their website listed below to learn more about the Indiana Soybean Alliance, and we'll be right back. This segment sponsored by the Indiana Soybean and Corn Farmers.